I'm currently staring at a crumpled W-2 from 3 years ago, and I remember the exact heavy, hollow feeling in my chest when I realized I was earning $40,000 but had absolutely nothing to show for it. My bank account balance was a fluctuating decimal point between $200 and $400, and I was genuinely convinced that retirement planning was a hobby for rich people, not for someone struggling to bridge the gap between paychecks while paying down credit card interest that felt like a runaway train. You're probably in that same spot. You're working hard, you're hitting your hours, but the money just evaporates. You've heard the terms 401k and Roth IRA thrown around by coworkers, but it feels like a secret club you're not invited to. By the time this is over, you're going to understand exactly how to prioritize your first dollar of retirement savings so it actually builds wealth instead of just sitting there. I'm going to show you the math that changed my trajectory from living on the edge of a credit card limit to actually having a net positive balance. Let's look at the story of a friend of mine, David. He was making exactly $40,000 a year, just like you. He was terrified of investing because he thought if he locked his money away, he'd end up with a flat tire or a medical bill he couldn't pay. He had $3,000 in credit card debt at 22% interest. He was convinced that saving for retirement while holding the debt was like trying to fill a bathtub with the drain plug removed. He was right. That's the first thing you need to realize. If you're carrying high-interest debt, that's your first priority. But once that's handled, or even while you're attacking it, there's a specific sequence to this game that most people get dead wrong. Most folks think, I should open a Roth IRA because it's tax-free later, and they skip the 401k match. That's a massive, expensive mistake. Think of your 401k match as a guaranteed 100% return on your money. If your company offers a 3% match and you're making $40,000, that's $1,200 of free money every single year. You cannot get that anywhere else. Not in a high-yield savings account, not in crypto, not in the stock market. It's an immediate doubling of your investment. I remember when I finally stopped ignoring my company's benefits portal. I felt like a genius for finally logging in, but then I felt like an idiot for waiting 2 years to do it. Those 2 years cost me thousands in matching contributions I'll never get back. Don't be like me. Log into your payroll portal today. If they have a match, that's where your first dollar goes. Period. If that just clicked for you, hit like, it tells me to keep making this. Now, let's talk about the Roth IRA. This is where the magic happens for someone on a $40,000 salary. Because you're in a lower tax bracket, paying your taxes now, which is what a Roth does, is almost always better than paying them later when you're potentially in a higher bracket. You're betting on yourself that you'll be making way more than $40,000 in the future. And you're right to make that bet. Here's the math. If you put $5,000 into a Roth IRA today, that money grows completely tax-free for 30 years. If you put that same amount into a traditional 401k, you get a tax deduction now, but you'll pay taxes on every single penny you withdraw in retirement. At $40,000 a year, your current tax savings are minimal, but your future tax bill could be massive. This is why the Roth IRA is the holy grail for your income level. It's not just about the money, it's about the control. You can pull your contributions out if you absolutely need to, though I'm begging you not to. Wait, I haven't even gotten to the part that surprised me most, the psychological aspect of this. When I started treating my retirement savings like a non-negotiable bill, my anxiety started to drop. You see, the fear of what if I run out of money is often just a symptom of not having a plan. When you start with the 401k match and then move to a Roth IRA, you're building a foundation. Tell me your biggest debt right now in the comments. I read every single comment, and I want to know what's holding you back. Are you drowning in credit cards, or is it student loans keeping you up at night? Let's get real about it. So, let's break down the step by step. Step 1, Identify if your employer matches your 401k. If they do, contribute exactly enough to get the full match. Do not contribute a penny more until you've checked the next step. Step 2. Open a Roth IRA. You can do this at any major brokerage. It takes 15 minutes. You don't need a financial advisor. You don't need $5,000 to start. You can start with $50. I remember putting in my first $100 and feeling like I just bought a piece of the future. It's the best feeling in the world. Now, what about the money you have left over? If you have extra cash after the 401k match and your Roth IRA contributions, you go right back to that debt. Attack the highest interest rate first. That's the debt avalanche method. It saves you the most money in the long run. If you're paying 20% interest on a credit card, that debt is essentially a reverse investment. You're losing money every day you don't pay it off. You're not alone in this. Millions of people in exactly your situation have figured this out. I've talked to single parents who managed to save 5% of their income by cutting their grocery bill and automating their transfers. I've seen people working gig jobs who used their 1099 income to fund their Roth IRAs while using their base salary for living expenses. It's not about how much you make, it's about the system you build around the money you have. If you know someone who's just paying their minimums every month and feeling hopeless, send them this. They need to hear that there's a path out. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's just math and discipline. It's boring, it's slow, and it's the only way that actually works. Let's talk about the what-if scenarios that keep you up at night. What if you lose your job? That's why you need an emergency fund. I've covered this before, but it's worth repeating. 3 to 6 months of expenses in a high-yield savings account is your shield. Don't invest a dime in the market until you have that shield. If you have an emergency while your money is locked in a 401k, you're going to pay penalties and taxes that will wipe out any gains. Build the shield first. Then build the retirement account. I remember the exact day I hit my first $10,000 in savings. I wasn't rich, but for the first time in my adult life, I didn't feel like a gust of wind would knock me over. That sense of security is addictive. You start to look at your spending differently. You stop buying things you don't need, not because you're depriving yourself, but because you'd rather see that money grow. It's a mindset shift. You stop being a consumer and start being an owner. If you're still feeling overwhelmed, start small. Just log into your HR portal. That's it. That's your only task for today. Don't try to figure out the whole retirement strategy in one afternoon. Just get the match. Get the free money. Once you see that balance start to creep up, you'll be hooked. You'll want to do more. You'll find ways to save another $20 a week. You'll start tracking your spending, not because it's fun, but because you want to see the numbers move in the right direction. Investing for beginners doesn't have to be complicated. You don't need to pick individual stocks. You don't need to try and time the market. You don't need to follow the latest crypto hype. Just put your money into a low-cost index fund that tracks the whole market, and let it sit there for 30 years. That's how real wealth is built. It's boring, but it works every single time. My journey started with a $40,000 salary and a mountain of confusion. I'm telling you this because if I can do it, you can too. You don't need a finance degree. You just need to stop avoiding the numbers. The moment you face the debt, the moment you open the Roth IRA, the moment you set up that automatic transfer, that's the moment you stop being a passenger in your own life and start being the driver. Next, you need to watch my breakdown on how to automate your entire financial life so you don't have to think about it anymore. It's the missing piece to keeping this momentum going. You've got this. Stick to the plan, ignore the noise, and keep your eyes on that long-term horizon. It's closer than you think.